boogity, 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 get up on your feet.
Hey, welcome to another DW show. I don't know what edition is this. You keep up with it better than I do, but welcome to the show. And I want to start off right up front by saying congratulations to Jeff Gordon on his second win of the year. But more importantly, as you may know, more importantly to me, that ties him for third on the all-time win list with myself, Bobby Allison, and now Jeff. You know, there was no question in my mind that someday Jeff would get 84 wins. I thought at one time he might even get 100. But Jeff Gordon's accomplished an incredible amount of, had an incredible amount of success in this sport in a fairly short period of time. Came along in 1992. He's a four-time champion. He's a four-time winner of the Driver of the Year award. And Jeff, you know what I've always kind of looked at Jeff, and I think he opened the door for the youth movement. When Jeff came along, a young kid, Rick Hendrick took a chance on him, thought he had a lot of talent, thought he might be the next superstar. Rick had the good eye, better than I. I got to tell you a quick story, kind of off. Rick called me, I think it was 92, after the first year Jeff had been in the sport. Jeff wrecked, if he ran 15 races, he wrecked in 13 of them. I don't remember the exact numbers, but he wrecked every week. Rick called me up and he said, DW, what do you think about my new superstar? I said, Rick, I got to tell you, buddy, I don't think the kid will ever make it. I said, he wrecks every week. He tears up every car he gets in. If he doesn't kill himself, I just don't see how he's ever going to make it. I think he's just too wild and crazy. That's Rick Hendrick, and he had a better eye than I. Matter of fact, I'll just tell you another quick Rick story. Rick tells me, when I say, Rick, I'm going to start my own team back in 1991, he said, DW, think about that. You stay with me, you could win 100 races and 7 or 8 championships. No way, no way. And that was when Hendrick Motorsports was just starting to become the powerhouse that it is today. So Rick Hendrick is a great visionary, and I'm not. But back to Jeff. I just think he's done had an awful lot of success in a real short period of time. He's been a great ambassador for the sport. Watching him Sunday in Victory Lane with his kids, he told me some time ago, and I totally understand where he's coming from. He said, all I want is for Ella and Leo to be able to see me successful at what I've devoted my whole life to. I want them to be able to go to Victory Circle and share in the thrill of a victory before I retire. And so when I saw Ella in Victory Circle with he and Ingrid on Sunday, it made me feel good because he's getting his wish. So anyway, it was a fun race. I thought a pretty good race for Pocono. Pocono's 500 miles. They get all strung out, you know, fuel strategy, blah, blah, blah. Here's something I didn't like. I didn't really like the fact that NASCAR opened up the box a little wee bit. See, they had these guys in a box about that big, and they opened it up to a box about that big. And I'm talking about shifting. So back in the day, we used to go there. We had what we called overdrive. When we would pull the car back into the 4th gear position, the transmission had an overdrive in it, which meant it had a higher gear in it. And so we would go down those long straightaways with a much higher gear, and that would save the engine. When we got to the 3rd turn or the 1st turn or the 2nd turn, we would shift it up into 1-to-1, straight drive. So whatever gearing you had to back, that's what you had when you were in the 3rd gear position. Then you'd go back to overdrive, save the engine. Well, NASCAR decided that teams were spending too much money on transmissions. We already had them. We race them on road courses. But they wanted to do away with the overdrive, so they did. And they went to a real tight rule where it was almost impossible to shift. Now they have a new rule. It's possible to shift, just not almost impossible. It's not what the guys need. They set them up to fail, in my opinion. The 3rd gear you got now is one of those things that it's borderline, it's marginal. It's hard on the gearbox, it's harder on the engine. It accomplishes what the teams wanted, but they're just in too tight a box. So NASCAR needs to just forget about what the teams do with the train. Let them have overdrive, let them have whatever they want. They already have it in inventory, let them use it. So that was one thing that was discussed for 3.5 hours on Sunday. Who's shifting, who isn't, where they're shifting, how they're shifting, who's better, who's worse, blah, 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 blah. And I got a bunch of shifters out there, you know, a bunch of shifty guys. Got kind of tired of hearing about it. But nonetheless, my man Kurt Busch, hey, Penske's turned it around. What about that? Last 3 or 4 weeks here, you know, with Keselowski, and they've won 3 poles in a row. Kurt, he was my pick for the race Sunday, by the way. And by golly, I thought he was going to pull it off. Great run by a lot of people. Kyle Busch's car was too low when the race was over with. Failed tech, left front, a little bit too low. That's another thing that drives me crazy. I got to tell you, how can a car be too low? You know what I'm saying? They go around the racetrack with the splitter touching the ground. So how can a car be too low? They race them that way. But when he went through tech, well, the left front's too low, and I'm sure there'll be some penalty or some fine or something because his car was too low. And don't get on me. I'm not taking up for the man. Just giving you my opinion. You like my opinion, don't you? Don't we share? Hey, don't we all share some opinions? Don't we have some common ground here? Can I make a point and you agree with me? Well, maybe not. Maybe that's why I do this every week. So you can tell me that I'm full of Mountain Dew and you're not. See ya.